And
I get people asking me all the time out of nowhere on Twitch, just being like, "Hey, any chance you could get Woody and Kyle to go on another survival trip with you this time so we can see one?" And I'm like, I don't know how many times they've both said they never want to do that ever again. Like, and Kyle particularly.
Yeah,
you got to pay me, man. You got to pay me again. You got to pay me. I misunderstood the deal that last time. We got paid a little bit of money. It was a few $1,000s each, something like that. It would take another several $1,000s to get me to do that. I don't know. 5 might do it. 5 might do it for 5 days. 5.
For $1,000
days?
a day, I would definitely go to the woods.
Yeah,
that's
I'm
what
going.
I'm thinking. I think it'd be fun to hang out with you guys. In general, anyway. Yeah, a grand a day would do it for me.
Yeah, we could go out in the woods and we could smoke all kinds of cigarettes.
Yeah, we do the shit. You could do it in Colorado. You know, you go out maybe in like October or something when it's.
You know what? That would make it way better. Going to Colorado, little warmer weather, and then just get stoned as hell in the woods.
Is Colorado the high desert? Forgive me, I'm an American with its geography.
I believe it is because
October might be freezing
or burning up. That's one of the mistakes we made last time, and it's my fault. I remember we were talking about when should we do this, and I think I said like November, and one of you guys said no, that'll be so cold, October, and I was in my head I was like, Kyle, you've been hunting in October every year of your life. That's opening of bow season is around October or something like that, and you wear short sleeves because you're so sweaty in the evenings, like 5 p.m. in the evening when you're like heading toward the deer stand and getting your shit together. I'd be all sweaty by the time I got up in the tree, like hoping that it would cool off when the sun went down. But I didn't say anything. I was just, there were so many moving parts, and it was like I was more worried about like Wings of Redemption failing again at making fire or something like that. Whatever was going on at the time. That was actually the previous trip. But anyway, there was the gear, and there was that sponsor that I hated, and there was just all sorts of things going on. And I never spoke up again, and like said, "What? No! It's hot as fuck here. It's hot as fuck here in October." So we were just stuck out there in October, and it is in Georgia. The humidity is something that I think people from the north don't get if you've never been to the south in the summertime.
People from the
It
west.
is incredibly, or in the west. The west especially. The west is so dry. Like I've been out in the Arizona desert, 95-degree days, and you're like, it's not so bad. You put some sunscreen on, we're good.
Yeah, now Philadelphia summer is pretty much the same as Georgia summer, which is a bummer.
Rough.
It is like, I know Raleigh and Philly, it is 10 degrees warmer here in the winter and 1 degree warmer in the summer. There is a lot more upside than downside.
Yeah.
We're talking about these trips. I haven't mentioned my motorcycle trip in almost a month, I think. Have I been talking about it? So for us, there's 2 shows before the trip. It's 8 days away. For the listeners, this is the last show before the trip. And it's stupid, but I'm a bit of a ball of anxiety about it. I'm packing all the time, poking away at this list. In my head, it's like a hiking trip, but it's not. We're going from town to town via gravel roads. And
Can I jump in real quick for any listeners who aren't aware, and for Danny's benefit? Woody is going on a cross-country motorcycle trip, not on the interstate highways though. He's going like back roads and trails and stuff like that. And he's been outfitting his motorcycle and training on his motorcycles. And he's got a buddy who's going with him. And it's sort of like, I don't like that midlife crisis shit. It's like anytime somebody who's 40 or 50 years old does some cool shit, it's a fucking crisis. But it's like a midlife experience or something like that he's going on. It's a really cool fucking adventure trip that they're doing that I'm jealous of. And yeah, he's been gearing up for months. And my question, Woody, is did your buddy get his fucking license, his gear, and actually learn to ride a motorcycle yet?
Or is this a solo trip?
He has really stepped up in that regard. So he has his license. He crossed 1,000 miles. He's been riding his motorcycle loaded with gear. I did that recently too, but at the time I felt like he was ahead of me. Like I saw he came over to the house, and he's got like cubic feet of stuff. He's got all this luggage and wrapped on his bike, and he's just sort of testing out to make sure it drives well with a load. Which, by the way, like I've watched so many YouTubers of people doing this adventure like this one. They all leave the driveway, say, "Oh my God, this is fucking heavy. My bike doesn't handle right. I'm going to fall over. And if I do, I can't pick it up and figure out what they can cut, what they don't need. So I'm trying to do that now. I was riding around yesterday with the bike fully loaded, and I've got this broken finger. That's an issue. I wonder if I can find.
You've been staying off it though, so that's responsible.
You're using those hooks now for lifting. I saw that. Cool.
Yeah.
I saw that and I was just like, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. Click.
You didn't like it?
I was thinking like, this is a huge risk. This is a huge risk for nothing.
Woody, what are the mandatory items you have to bring on a cross-country back road motorcycle trip? If weight is crucial, condoms?
Yeah,
well,
he's gonna be laid by truck stop restrooms the whole way.
And him and his buddy, they've been taking too long to get their licenses. They haven't gotten checked for AIDS.
I'm taking...
No, you plan to pick that up on the trip.
Basically 2 days of clothes and casual day of clothes. There's a bunch
2 days of clothes?
Yeah, and then the idea is you kind of like, like the kind of high-performance shirt you'd wear in a gym and just wash that in the sink.
High-performance shirt, I like that. I don't know what it means, but I like it.
Like an Under Armour.
Fit.
Do I look like the kind of man that wears...
A rash guard.
rash guard, right?
A rash guard. High-performance shirt.
A gi. He'll be wearing a gi during the trip.
I'm trying to show
your sensei
finger.
So you have to make... You're going to wash them just in sinks and then hang them up. You're not going to make coin-op laundry mats part of your destination.
Yeah, fungus won't start in until week 2.
Maybe, right? So I do record the show, and I can imagine where it's like, all right, you know what? We're going to grab it Thursday, make it a small mileage day, arrive at like noon, catch up on laundry, do the show that night. Like, that's the kind of thing I have in my head. But we'll see. But as I'm packing now, I have this anxiety like it's a hiking trip. Like, if I don't get this right, I'm fucked. I'm not fucked. There's a fucking Walmart at every town. It's going to be okay.
You could leave with half a tank of gas and you'd be fine. Naked.
Probably like 150, 200 miles of gas.
Probably.
What's the range on the bike? Do you know?
About 140, and the reserve light comes on, and you've got like 40 miles to fill up, maybe 30.
Okay. Yeah, almost 200 miles.
So, anyway, I've got this broken finger. I was just showing everybody what that looks like. And hopefully, what's happened, I don't know if I talked about it, but this piece here, that I'm showing on screen, it's to the top right. You see how there's like a slice through it? It moved. They gave me these instructions, like, Woody, behave. And, you have to go a week to let this thing set because it wasn't in a particularly bad position, but if it moves, it could be. So I was good. I was great. I did nothing. I just sat in the guest room with the blackout curtains, surfing the web, doing nothing. And I saw him the next week, and I had all these like questions. I come in with like prepared to get the most out of my meeting with the doctor, and all the questions were arranged around success. And he looked at. I had 4 new X-rays taken. 3 of them looked good. One of them showed that the bone had clearly moved, and I'm like, well, what if we just used the 3? He's like, oh, do you want fewer tests? Were you in charge of COVID? like, is that your plan? And I'm like, well, what if that was wrong? Could we take it again? And he's like, if you want, but the X-ray is the truth. Your bone moved. And he looked at it, and he had made his determination in like less than 3 seconds. He was like, and you could read it on his face and in his body language. And I was like, okay. Look slower. Just take a longer time to look at the X-ray. And I'm like, will that make a difference? And he's like, no.
No, this is my whole job. I'm real quick at it. Trust me.
So this guy is an orthopedic surgeon that specializes in hands, right? Like, and this is a broken pinky. This isn't like complicated to him. And so we start talking about options and what we are and what can I expect. And he's like, if your bone moves now, you'd probably be mostly fine. He's like, maybe you don't extend your pinky all the way anymore. But he's like, I don't have a crystal ball, and I don't know when this thing stops moving. So I started talking to him about like what kind of movement limitations I have. Like, should I be on my bike? Should I be this? Do you want a quick slip in a surgery before the trip? And he's like, no, surgery's going to be a bad idea. He's like, your incision will have barely healed in the next 2 weeks. And he's like, what's going to happen is it's going to start to feel great. You're going to go on this motorcycle and vibrate it and bang it. And it's going to be worse than if you didn't have surgery. I'm like, all right. And long story short, I see him on Tuesday. And I expect him to say, looks pretty good. And I go on the trip. He might say, you're kind of fucked. Let's just schedule the surgery for after the trip. That could be. We'll see. Tuesday's a big day for me, but that's what's up.
And
Nice.
can I ask this, Woody?
Yeah.
When you and your buddy leave in the middle of the night dressed head to toe in leather, are you going to be sharing a hotel room to save costs?
I hope not. I would rather have my own hotel room every night, and I am too much of a pussy to broach the subject with him.
Just book your own single bedroom. Boom.
I hear you. Yeah, I don't know what his plan is. I was gonna.
You want me to help you? Hey man, I run this BPAP. It's really loud at night for my snoring, so we should definitely get separate rooms. I don't want to keep you up at night.
I
Everybody always complains
every night. Are you good with that?
Say that you wet the bed.
Hey man, since the war, I have these night terrors. What war you served? Oh, I didn't serve, but man, the footage on TV was just.
I had to watch that.
Saving Private Ryan really impacted me. When Vin
older
Diesel
than you,
dies there in
and-
the middle of that German road.
Do you know what incontinent means?
Yeah.
So, no, that was
covered in
a
piss.
hypothetical conversation with my friend. So anyway, I leave 8 days, I guess, and this should be a pretty big adventure. Someone has mapped out dirt roads from North Carolina, pretty much across the country, and mostly back again. And that's what.
What's
I'm
the
doing.
longest you think it'll take? Like, if there are delays, like what level of time? Like 10 days, 7 days, 8.
No,
How long do you think?
I think
it could-
3 weeks to go halfway is considered pretty fast, and then the way back has some paved stuff. So like I guess I have an orthodontist appointment on July 8th, so I want to make that. Otherwise, like my teeth straightening slows down.
July 8th. I've got an orthodontist. Okay, so this is going to be a long ass trip. Okay, that's longer than I thought.
Okay. Oh yeah, no, it's gonna be a bit, and yeah, and I'm not even positive I'll make that, but that's the goal. And I feel like I could. How long does it take to drive across the country? If you hurry, 2 days, 3 days.
Yeah, probably two and a half days if you really hurry.
It's.
Kyle says
Gotta be.
3. All right.
It depends what you mean by drive across. Like, I went to Phoenix, Arizona. It was definitely a 3-day tour for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think you could take that and double it because it's a motorcycle. And so I'm never more than like 6 days from home. If I'm like, all right, fuck this dirt road shit. I'm exhausted. I want to be home.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be more than 6 days from home. So we'll see. We'll play it by ear.
Hope you like it, and you don't get out there and you're like, God, the bugs and the the traffic. Well, I guess traffic's not going to be a problem on dirt roads.
Traffic should
Unless
be
a lot of other
problem.
people have an idea.
And bugs are never a problem when you're moving. But I can be like, I can just imagine myself being like, you know what? 3 days, 3 flat tires. This isn't even a fun sport. I want to.
I hope that doesn't happen. It
Yeah,
would
me
suck.
too.
All this run up, it's like going to fucking Six Flags and everything's out of order. That'd be awful. You need a $10 soda and that's it.
Yeah, I've been doing a bunch of dirt bike riding. Not the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I guess. But the idea was that I would get a little more like off-road talent because I have very little experience off-road. And instead, I just broke my hand and got a little experience, I guess. So
The opposite of off-road talent.
I discovered my talent level, so that's a thing. Kind of fucked, but yeah. So I'm super excited about it, and it begins as you guys are watching this on Saturday in 6 days.
Nice.